loves, and welcome to today's video. I'm going to show you guys how I make black salt. This is just my specific recipe. You can change and alter this as you wish, but I'm just going to be showing you the way that I do it. So we're going to get started. Before I do, I just want to remind you guys that this week we are doing our Healing Generational Trauma workshop, so definitely make sure you sign up if you haven't signed up for tickets yet. Super excited to just do this workshop. It's going to be amazing, and you can also access it if you don't want to get tickets just regularly. You can also access it through the Patreon on the High Priest High Priestess level, because the members on the High Priest High Priest level automatically have tickets, which is really cool. So yeah, with that being said, before I continue, I am doing a special right now. All 1 hour Akashic Records past life readings are buy one get one half off. So you would get emailed a code for the half off, which you can use the code up until the end of the year. So with that said, we're gonna get started because we have a lot to cover. So we're gonna be doing black salt. Black salt is meant to be very, very protective, and to keep different beings away, especially when it comes to protection work. You can use black salt for so many different things. You can sprinkle it around your house, or you can put it in the corners of your, outside of your windowsill, outside of the window on the outer side. You can sprinkle it there. You can sprinkle it across your block, depending on where you live, or let's say if you have a neighbor that you do not particularly, you can kind of set energetic boundaries with the black salt. Using the black salt, you can use it in so many different ways. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys how I make mine. As you can see, we're going to be using this pot of, it looks like a hot mess, right? This is an incense holder that I made using pink Himalayan salt and a pot of, basically just a pot that I used. This one specifically was on my bass altar, my segment altar space, because right now I have them next to each other. So which, by the way, if anybody was wondering, they do not mind being next to each other. But right now what I'm doing is I'm going to take out all of the little palitos that from the incense, because I basically just break the bottom bit in half so it doesn't spill everywhere, because I'm trying to save all of the incense ash, which you can add to your spell work. I also make sure that whatever incense I'm burning on here, it's going to be good for the black salt. So I did burn a lot of dragon's blood incense in here, in incense form. So I'm just going to grab all the little sticks out, and then it's going to leave us with this grayish situation. Black salt's not going to look super black unless you use a lot of different kind of other ashes. Okay, so I'm gonna move this over here, and then I'm gonna make sure, so I'm gonna start moving around to make sure I got all the little sticks out. I might find some along the way. Yeah, right there. I might find some along the way. If you wanted to, you can also burn the sticks and just add the ashes of the burnt sticks in there, but I know I was putting mine mainly in the middle, so I'm just gonna move it around because it will unearth a bunch of little sticks. I make sure that if I'm going to do this, I burn quite a bit of it, so I have enough when I mix it, there's enough there. So this salt, it's pink Himalayan salt, as you can see, right here, but it's about to turn a whole nother color. So let me just grab all of these. So let's see, a couple more. When you're making this, you also want to be making it with the intention for protection and to repel people away from you, energy vampires, to repel people trying to tap in and connect to your energy that you really don't want. You can do a lot with this. Okay, so okay, let me just grab the last bits. As you can see, I burnt quite a lot of incense on here. That was my entire goal of doing this here. I wanted a good amount because I wanted it to be nice and heavy with incense ash. Let me just make sure nothing is left. Okay, so it seems that I'm good. So now we're left with this. So I'm just gonna first mix that. Oh, nope. I'm gonna first mix that together very well and make sure that the incense ash is incorporated. We're gonna be putting everything in this jar, and so I'm also gonna be adding sea salt because I love adding sea salt and everything. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I love sea salt. Oh, by the way, wait, I forgot to mention, this is a Dollar Tree spell. So I am also gonna be adding sea salt just to add that extra layer of cleansing yourself away from, you know, unnecessary and just people you don't want around. And I'm just gonna give this a good mix. You can mix this counterclockwise as well. I'm just gonna give this a good mix, and I'm just gonna be talking to it as I'm mixing it, and just telling it exactly what I wanted to do before I even add the other ingredients, because salt is amazing to work with when it comes to different intentions. Different salts do have different properties as well, so you can definitely be mindful of what kind of salt you want to use. Ooh, I found another one. Hold on. There we go. You can also be mindful of what kind of salt you want to use for this. Pink Himalayan salt is really amazing for heart healing. So you can also use this kind of salt to protect your relationship, to protect your heart for like, and like, especially if you feel like you're a little bit of a softie, or you're very, like you're an empath, or you have a lot of vulnerabilities, or you're very, very sensitive, you can use something like pink Himalayan salt to do that as well. But pink Himalayan salt's also very grounding. So, okay, so we have a cute little mix right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my additional ingredients. So obviously you're gonna need black pepper because this is black salt. So we're gonna go ahead and add black pepper, add a really good amount of it, because you're going to want to incorporate and mix that in there really, really well. So I'm adding a good amount. And I'm also adding garlic powder. I'm adding garlic powder because this specific salt I'm making is also meant for repelling energy vampires and like keeping that shit away, because I'm not dealing with that. And anybody that's trying to take them from my energy that I don't want to take from my energy. And obviously this is going to shift the color a little bit, but it's fine because we need to incorporate those elements in there, and it's just going to blend in, like it's going to take the rest of the color. So you're going to mix that in. Make sure everything has a little nice coat. You want to make sure it's well blended, and that it has like every little, like if you were to take a little spoonful, it has a little bit of everything. That is the goal. Okay, if you need to add more of any ingredient, add more. Do what you need to do. And then we're gonna add, this is like low-key embarrassing because I know it looks like a mess, but this is my abalone shell that I basically burn a lot of stuff from. So I'm gonna just go ahead and let me just take this guy out of here. This is black sage. And basically any ashes that I collect on this, let me just take the Palo Santo out of here. Any ashes that I collect on this, I will add to my black salt. And you can also make your black salt that you can also just continuously add to it. So in this is a lot of different types of herbs that I've burnt. Also like Palo Santo ash, my hair, because I always burn my hair, like if every time I take a shower, or like specifically every time I wash my hair and I comb it out, any hair that falls out, that comes out, I will burn it. So I'll burn it on here, so it's mixed in there. Then I'll just, different herbs that I'll burn are in here as well as onion skins, because I burn onion skins a lot just for prosperity and money and wealth. So this helps to protect my money as well. So that is all combined in there, and I'm just going to kindly and surely add it in there. And this is going to add more of that black aspect that we're looking for, the color that we are definitely looking for. Let me just get all of the things out. But yeah, this is something that you should always have in your arsenal. Black salt is so multi-purpose. And I usually, when I'm traveling, I'll keep a little bottle of black salt on me, just for, you know, for me to keep away any energies that I really, really don't want in my space. Let me just, there we go. Okay, getting all the good stuff out of there. Let me just put this back now. Oh, I swear, every time with pepper, I'm always gonna sneeze. Okay, so now I'm just mixing that, incorporating that in there. And you can absolutely grind up all the rest of the ashes as you want, but they're gonna break apart as you're blending it in, so it's totally fine. You're blending that in there, thinking about how you are so protected, how you like, you just don't, ooh, I spilled some, but it's fine. How you're so protected, how you have set these boundaries, how this will be a tool for those boundaries that you're setting, and it's so multi-purpose for so many different things. Activating it for, if you want to, you can make different types of powders for different intentions, but you're just setting the intention that you're protected, when you're using this powder, nobody is able to penetrate or get through because they're too busy getting hit by this boundary that you are setting. You're mixing that in, you're mixing that in. And then you're just praying over it. You can also pray with different spirits, different protective spirits for this as well. Mixing it. Really take your time with it. You want to make sure that you've infused all of the intentions that you want to infuse in here. And again, this is something that you can continuously add to. One of the things I love doing is also if I'm doing like a protection bath, or something like that, you can the herbs that you have remaining, you can either burn them and put it in here, or you could just literally throw the herbs in here as well, and it'll just be, you know, nice and pumped for protection. Okay, so now that we have that good nice and blended, we're gonna go ahead and add it to the jar, and then we're gonna mix it one last time with the sea salt. So we're gonna start adding that through. Now we're gonna mix everything with the sea salt. And you're still praying over it, setting your intention. And just scooping everything from the bottom and just mixing it well. This is something that you can do super easily, like with so many different things. One of my favorite things to do is when I'm at a campfire and the fire went out already, I will take and save some of the ash from there as well and save it for black salt. You can incorporate ashes from different things. And just let me check at the bottom to make sure, nope, still a little bit more over here. To make sure that everything is incorporated. So you want to make sure everything is incorporated. You can also give it a shake afterwards just to make sure, but no. Now this part is optional, it's really up to you, but and you don't have to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and add some protective oils to this, just like a little bit. I'm gonna be using Vanishing Oil. Just gonna tap it to activate it. I use Vanishing Oil. I'm gonna use Evil Eye Repellent Oil. And I'm gonna use Protection Oil as well. This is gonna make it a little bit juicy. Okay. Just to add and amplify those intentions I was said. So I'm gonna cover it. I'm just gonna move it around. And it's just gonna blend in with everything. So Spirit told me to add some cascarilla to this, so I'm gonna add it. I didn't make mine. I got this from the Botanica, but you can absolutely do so. They sell eggs at the Dollar Tree, and you could just literally make it at home. So I'm just gonna take a little bit from here, a little bit of the powder, and just add that in here for protection. And obviously the cascarilla is white, so it's going to specifically add, like, brighten it a little bit, but you can always add a little bit more ash or more incense or more black pepper to bring the color back to more of its, I dropped something, but I'm gonna fix it, back to its darker color. But I'm just gonna take and just break it apart so that way we don't have a big chunk of cascarilla just like in one spot. And I'm gonna mix this in. Mix this, mix. One of the other things that you can also do is that you can grab a notebook with a page and write, I am protected, like just take a page out of the notebook, write, I am protected, I am safe, nothing can touch me. And you could burn that and then put the ashes in here as well. And you know what, for the sake of this video, I'm going to do that as well, just so you guys can see it, so you guys can get multiple perspectives of how you can, you know, do black salt and kind of incorporating your own thing to it. So I just took a permanent marker from the Dollar Tree, because you already know how I do, and this is what I wrote down, just like a very simple, like very much speaking in the current, I am protected, you know, I'm safe to drive, to be myself in the space, like you just make sure, you know, you set that in place, and you're just gonna fold that towards you. And then you're gonna burn that. So let me grab my handy dandy and just get it up in this fire. It's gonna take a second. And I'm just gonna burn that. She is burning nicely. You're just gonna let the ashes do their thing. Give it time for it to burn down. You're just basically gonna mix that in now. This is gonna get mixed in, and now you have more ashes. More ashes to mix in with your cascarilla, and mixy. There's also like an easy way to just do it if you are not necessarily trying to be loud, or you're trying to do like sneaky witchcraft where nobody's like, you know, you're in the broom closet trying to do something sneaky where nobody's listening to you. You can just set the intention on paper instead of like praying over it out loud. You can always say it in your head, but it's always nice to speak and bring life to it. And that's a good way to do it. I'm just mixing it one last time. This baby is gonna last me for quite a minute, so. And I'm in a mess, so I'm gonna clean that. So yeah, that's kind of a lot of ways to do black salt. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you guys, like, you know, learned something. And that is how you make black salt. You can give it a shake, do what you need to do, and yeah, you're good to go. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you guys learned something new. You can put this in a little bit of a smaller container as you are traveling and, you know, like doing your thing. If you want to carry this and just, you know, protect yourself. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful. I hope you guys learned something new. This is one of the ways that I make it. I make it in different ways. If I'm doing like super basic, then I'll just keep it to a couple ingredients. If I'm like being very adding more, then I'll add more. But yeah, you know, take your time with your craft, do what you need to do. But yeah, this is how I make my black salt. And yeah, I hope that this was helpful. I love you guys so much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for everybody and all the love, all the support. Thank you to the Patreon members and everything. You guys are just the best ever. And yeah, I will see you at the workshop. Have a very blessed day.